Welcome back everyone. Today in this class let us discuss about the building blocks of EDA systems. We have discussed in the previous class itself, that is what is EDA. The expansion of EDA is electronic data interchange, isn't it? So the data is going to be exchanged electronically. That is called EDA systems. So and also we have discussed what is the difference between traditional information exchange and electronic data interchange, right? So today in this class just we are going to see the building blocks of EDA systems, that is layered architecture. Actually the networking platform is used for the purpose of electronic exchange of information or documents. Using the network, the people are exchanging the information electronically, isn't it? So you know the fact. And also we can exchange whatever we want, like images, videos, documents. It may be anything we can exchange over the networking environment. For this, the EDA system should have an architecture, isn't it? It should have a specific structure. Here we are going to discuss that architecture. As we said already, it is a layered architecture. There are 4 layers which is involved in EDA system. The layers are the application conversion layer, standard message formats layer, the data transport layer, and the interconnection layer. So these 4 are the layers. Let us see how it is constructed in a diagram. So this is what the respective diagram, that is EDA system architecture. The first layer, application conversion layer. This layer is going to display the actual information to the respective company or business, okay, in their respective format. Next layer is standard formats layer. This is the common format to transfer the information over the network. For this we can use any one of these format, that is EDIFACT or ANSI X12. Likewise there are many formats, standard common formats. We can use any one of the format to transfer the content over the internet. Next one, data transport layer. This layer is going to transfer the data from one place to another place. Here this layer acts as a transport. Okay, it may be any one of these things: email, FTP, Telnet, HTTP, X.435, MIME. So these are called transport layers. People can use any one of the thing to transport their content. And next layer is interconnection layer. This layer is going to make the actual path from one terminal to another terminal to transfer the information. Okay, so the path can be made using any one of these things, that is dial-up lines, internet, I-way, WAN. Okay, so these are the 4 layers which is involved in the EDA system architecture. So now let us discuss one by one. The first layer is application conversion layer. So as we said earlier, this layer is going to display the content or information on the screen which should be understandable for the business or organization. This layer consists of the actual business applications. Okay, it may be the company's own electronic record formats and document formats for storing, retrieving and processing the information within each company's systems. The document which is in application layer will be only for the business. So they can store their information, they can retrieve their documents, and they can do some modifications, or they can process the data, whatever they want they can do in this layer. The layer is called application conversion layer. In this layer, the business or organization can do their work in their respective format. For this electronic data interchange, they have to convert the internal company document into the format which will be understood by the system, isn't it? Whatever we are doing through the system, the data which is understandable by the user should be converted first by the system understandable format. So likewise for the EDA system also, the data, that is the internal company document, should be converted into system understandable format. So there is a diagram to convert the company document among 4 trading partners. Okay, so this is a diagram, format 1, format 2, format 3, format 4. So this is what a diagram for 4 different partners, business partners. They can convert the company document according to the format which is required by the business partners. In case if they need a new proprietary format for a new business partner, they have to make again a new 4 format conversion programs. For their internal processing systems among the companies, among the organization, they can use any one of the proprietary format. But for the transmission over the wire, over the internet, they need to convert into a common document or message format. While the company want to transmit their document to other company, they need to convert the internal document into the common format, and then they will transmit the document. Once the document received by another company, they need to convert the common format into their own internal proprietary format. Okay, so this is what will happen during the transaction. All the companies can have their own proprietary format to represent the document or information. While they transmit, they have to convert it into the common format. Again, if they receive the data from any one of the company, they have to convert from the common format to their respective company proprietary format. The following is the simplified approach for the conversion. The document should be converted from one format to another format, isn't it? So now we said the company proprietary format should be converted into common format while they want to transfer the data over the internet, isn't it? So here the formats are proprietary format for different companies. So this is the common format. So format 1 will be converted first to the common format, and then they can transmit to any one of the company. So again they will convert into their respective format, and while they want to share their document to other companies, the same process will go on. The operational EDI systems follow the second one, that is the simplified approach, where the company document will be converted into common format and then they will transmit the document over the internet. So the receiving system then accept the input in the standard format and convert it into the native format used internally by the local system. Okay, so this is what the process which is done in the application conventional layer. The next layer is the standard formats layer. We have talked about the common format, isn't it? The application layer of EDI system mainly focused on the common format for the operation, isn't it? So that the second layer or block of the EDI system is standards for business documents forms. Okay, so for this, so many dominant adopters of EDI are developing some of the standards. So let us see one by one here. The first one, the grocery industry sector created the uniform communication standard. So this is a standard format which is used by the grocery industry sector. Next one, the shipping industry devised a set of standards called data interchange for shipping. So this is a standard format used by shipping industry. Next one, the automobile sector came up with the standard under the umbrella of Organization for Data Exchange by Teletransmission in Europe. So this format is used by automobile sector. As like the need for an industry-wide EDI standard lead to the formation of a standard committee X12 under the auspices of American National Standards Institute. So ANSI were developed X12 for the industry purpose. So these are some of the commonly known standards which is developed for a particular sector. Now let us discuss the document standards. For that, the commonly used format is ANSI X12. The Accredited Standards Committee ASC X12 was set up by the American National Standards Institute in 1979. And this committee was developed to cross industry standards for exchanging electronic documents for use by all business in the United States. and this committee was developed ANSI AAC X12, commonly referred to as the X12 standard. So this X12 standard was mainly developed for the industry standards. This X12 standard was developed mainly for the industry standards for exchanging their documents or informations over the internet as electronic documents. The printed version of the document containing three different types of information, that is header, detail and summary. Okay, so we have discussed about the standard format where we have chosen the X12, isn't it? So in that the printed format should have all these three things. First one header, second one detail, third one summary. Header means it may contain the information that is common to the whole document, such as date, from address, to address, terms and conditions, etc. will be included in the header part. Okay. Next, second part is detail. It refers to line items, that is the described content will be placed here. In case of a purchase order, it may contain item number, description, quantity ordered and price information. So these things will be included in the detail part. The third part is summary. It refers to the control information and other components that refer to the complete transaction. Okay. In case if we consider purchase order, it may refer to order value. It will be included in the summary part. These three parts should be included in the printed format of the document for the standard format. Next format is EDI-FACT. It is an international standard. In 1987, the United Nations announced an international standard called EDI for administration, commerce and transport. This EDI for administration, commerce and transport is abbreviated here as EDI-FACT. Okay. So the standard is promoted by the United Nations Economic Commission, which is responsible for the adoption and standardization of messages. So this United Nations Economic Commission only is responsible for all the thing which is included in this standardization. The International Standards Organization, that is ISO, has been entrusted with the responsibility of developing the syntax and data dictionary for EDI-FACT. The United Nations Economic Commission was taken the responsibility for standardization of messages, but the ISO has taken the responsibility for developing the syntax and data dictionary for EDI-FACT. Okay, and it combines the efforts of American National Standards Institute as X12, Trade Data Interchange Standards, and it was developed and deployed by much of Europe and the United Kingdom. The next layer is data transport layer. So this is a layer which is going to transport the electronic data from one terminal to another terminal. So this layer may utilize any of the available network transport services such as electronic mail, file transfer protocol, telnet based remote connection and transfer, or even the hypertext transfer protocol. You may be familiar on these things. You might have studied in your previous subjects about HTTP. Email is very familiar to everyone, and these things drives the World Wide Web. The EDI documents or information are exchanged over the network infrastructure as electronic mail messages. Why we said this? Commonly used transport layer is email to exchange the electronic document or information. That's why we are discussing here about the email. This email is used only as a carrier for transporting formatted EDI messages by the EDI document transport layer. Okay, email may be as a bus. Okay, so where the data is going to travel. ITU-T has adopted X.435 standards to support electronic data interchange messaging. This ITU-T is nothing but International Telecommunication Union. In some situations, we may feel the security while we hand over the document in person. Right. While we send as an email, there might be a question for a security. So in order to achieve equivalence of the security control offered by paper-based systems, X.435 has three types of notifications. Okay, the notifications are a positive notification, negative notification, and a forwarding notification. Positive notification means which indicates that the recipient has received the document and accepts the responsibility for it. Okay, if the recipient received and accepts the responsibility, then there will be a positive notification. If it is a negative notification, it means that the recipient has received but refused to accept the document. They received but they refused to accept the responsibility. Okay, and the third one is a forwarding notification, which indicates that the document was received by the recipient and also they forwarded to another recipient. So these are the three notifications which is provided by the X.435, which has by X.435 in order to achieve equivalence of the security offered by paper-based systems. The fourth layer, that is interconnection layer. If we consider the transport layer as a bus, then the interconnection layer will be the pathway, okay, where the actual bus is going to travel. The email should be transmitted from one place to another place, isn't it? For that it needs some path. The path will be built by the interconnection layer. It refers to the network infrastructure that is used for the exchange of information between trading partners. It may consist of dial-up lines and leased lines. Dial-up lines means the trading partners dial up through modems to each other and connect to exchange the messages. To exchange their messages, they need to dial a call through the modems. This is what the diagram for the dial-up interconnection. Here is one terminal, here is another trading partner. So to communicate this partner 1 to partner 2, they have to make a call through the modem and they both need to connect over the internet. After that they can exchange their document. The next option is leased lines and highway. Internet or any reliable network infrastructure that can provide interconnection can be used. So where the interconnection is available or provided can be used by any trading partners without dialing any call. Through interconnection, EDI partners are able to achieve document exchanges between themselves. The information which is entered by the trading partner on their computer or the document which is ready to transfer can be processed in the trading partner's computer through the network routes and pathways. Okay, so this is what the representation for the wide area interconnection. Here it may be either dial-up or leased line. Those who have access to this internet connection can share their documents over the network. So dial-up or leased line here. This is one trading partner. This is another trading partner. Now these two may have the leased line to access the network. And when they are ready to exchange their document, they can exchange through the network. Okay. So far we have discussed EDI systems layered architecture. This architecture has 4 layers: the application conversion layer, standard message formats layer, the data transport layer, and the interconnection layer. This is what the EDI systems layered architecture. Okay, I'll meet you in next class. Thank you.